Come hike with us on our favorite Shenandoah National Park trails as we share how to plan the perfect trip to Shenandoah National Park without the outdoor regret of missing the best views or getting stuck in a 100-car traffic jam. Whether you have just 24 hours for Skyline Drive or a full 4 days to explore more of the park, the planning anxiety is real. You're looking at 105 miles of winding road and over 500 miles of trails. But stay until the end because one of the best trails isn't even included in the park. What is the absolute must-do if you only have one day in Shenandoah National Park? If you only have one day, you are likely part of the 1.5 million people who visit annually as a day trip. The biggest mistake people make is trying to drive the entire 105-mile length of Skyline Drive at a strict 35-mile-per-hour speed limit and forced to protect you, other visitors, and the roughly 600 black bears roaming these woods. You'll spend 6 hours just sitting in your car. To maximize your time, you need to head straight for the Central District, enter through the Thornton Gap station and head south. You'll want to stop at the Byrd Visitor Center at mile 51. This isn't just a place for maps. It's right across from Big Meadows, a massive high-altitude meadow where you're almost guaranteed to see deer or even a bear at dusk. Here you can learn about the history of Shenandoah and how the landscape has changed over time, and learn about the improvements made by the Civilian Conservation Corps. But if you need supplies, there is a convenience store and gas station, restrooms, first aid, and electric car chargers. But let's head almost to Skyland, which we will discuss later for our first hike. The real crown jewel for a one-day trip, it's a hike that gives you the best bang for your buck view in the entire state, and it starts right next to Skyland. If you only have one day, you must hike Stony Man. It's a 1.6-mile loop that is easy enough for kids but ends at a massive rock outcrop with a 270-degree view of the Shenandoah Valley below. You get the summit experience without the 6-hour commitment of a harder trail. This is one of those photographic beauties that makes Shenandoah National Park popular, if unlike our trip, you actually get a clear day. We summited on a more hazy day, and the camera didn't get the blue sky and clear valley views like many photos see. But we weren't disappointed. Once you are done hiking, head into Skyland to use the bathrooms, grab a coffee and souvenirs, or have a late lunch on the patio overlooking the valley. But by now, you may be wondering, how do you expand that into a perfect 2-day getaway in Shenandoah National Park? So you've decided to stay the night at Skyland or Big Meadows Lodge, or like us at Spacious Skies Campground in Luray, Virginia. And now, you have a second morning. Most people will tell you to go to Dark Hollow Falls. It's the most famous waterfall in the park, but it's often a wall-to-wall crowd of people as it's so close to the Byrd Visitor Center, and it's a steep, punishing climb back up to your car that can leave a beginner, intermediate hiker feeling pretty beat. When our family visited, we wanted something that felt more like a wilderness experience and less like a theme park line. We looked for a trail that followed the water rather than just dropping you at the bottom of a cliff. A trail that let you explore with simpler elevation changes and a not-so-hurried experience. For day 2, skip the crowded Dark Hollow Falls trail and hike the Rose River Falls Loop. This is a 4-mile circuit that follows a bubbling stream for nearly the entire distance. While Dark Hollow is a vertical sprint, Rose River is a scenic journey. You'll see the 67-foot Dark Hollow Falls, but you'll also find dozens of smaller cascades and quiet pools where your kids can actually touch the water, like you see here. It's the superior choice for a family looking for peace over a photo op. Before we continue with our 3-day itinerary, if you're overwhelmed by the gear you might need for a 4-mile hike, we've got a list in our video description of what we use day hiking in Shenandoah National Park. Check out the affordable examples we like and use now while you watch. Is 3 days the sweet spot for Shenandoah National Park? 2 days covers the panoramic view and waterfalls, but day 3 is where the adventure actually begins. Now it's time to get your hands dirty. One of the most common questions we see is whether the technical hikes in Shenandoah are too dangerous for families or solo travelers who aren't pro climbers. Sure, there are many hikes that little shouldn't attempt, but you don't need to be an expert to feel like one, and if you bring trekking poles, make sure you have a way to collapse and stow them in your hiking pack, because there is a specific trail that acts as a mini adventure for those who want to use their hands and feet to navigate. On day 3, you're heading to the Bear Fence Rock Scramble at mile 56.4. This is a short 1.4-mile round trip, but it involves climbing over ancient volcanic rock formations, It's a literal playground for intermediate hikers. The reason this makes the 3-day cut is a 360-degree view at the top. You can see the valley to the west and the rolling Piedmont to the east simultaneously. It's a great place to stop, relax, soak it all in, have a lunch or a snack, and enjoy the view. It's a level up moment for your trip that you shouldn't rush on day 1. Before we continue with day 3, are you liking this walk and talk format? We share all of our national park videos in this way to help you with your planning. Subscribe today so that when you search for a park we've been to, our videos show up at the top of your search results. To add to the enjoyment of day 3, consider more of Skyline Drive, or after lunch, pick up another hike like Mary's Rock. But it's a little tougher with 3.7 miles of round-trip distance and 1,200 feet of elevation change. Before we continue with day 4, every good hiking video needs a dad joke. Why did the bear quit his job? His boss would only pay him the bare minimum. What do you do on day 4 in Shenandoah National Park? If you're lucky enough to have a 4th day, or if the infamous Blue Ridge fog rolls in and erases your views, you need a plan B that doesn't involve sitting in a hotel room. Mountain weather is fickle. 35,000 people can be in the park on a busy Saturday, and when the rain hits, most head for the exits at once. But this could be a great option if the weather is too hot and sunny also. You need a destination that is completely unaffected by the clouds. Just 15 minutes outside the Thornton Gap entrance sits a natural wonder that most people forget is right next door, which is why we recommend it. Day 4 or any bad weather day belongs to Luray Caverns. It is the largest cavern system in the eastern United States, and it stays a constant 54 degrees regardless of what's happening on the mountain. Walking through the Geology Hall of Fame and seeing and hearing the Great Stalactite Organ is the perfect way to round out your trip. It gives your legs a break from the incline while still providing that sense of awe. It's the ultimate safety net for your itinerary when the weather goes bad. And while you are at Luray Caverns, you can extend your stay by visiting Toy Town Junction and the Car and Carriage Caravan Museum, which includes antique trains, toys, and a traffic jam you'll enjoy slowing down for. Here you will also find sweet treats. FOMO kept us from missing out on this mini tour of some great cars, and the kids got a kick out of the antiques on display. If you travel slowly through the exhibit, you will discover a 1925 Rolls-Royce, an 1898 Benz, one of the oldest cars in the country still in operating condition, and a 1908 Baker Electric. But if you love horses, you'll discover some well-crafted carriages of a time long past. While in Luray, you can also visit local restaurants and pubs. Driving through Luray is like stepping back in time. The streets are full of rich architecture and culture. We ate lunch in an affordable Just Main Street bar and grill as we were in search of chicken tenders and cheeseburgers. Planning the perfect trip isn't just about the trails, it's about the flow. To make this laddered itinerary work, you have to consider the logistics. Remember, Skyline Drive is long. If you stay in the north, you'll spend 2 hours driving just to get to the Bear Fence Trailhead on day 3. These hikes also intersect and travel the Appalachian Trail and equestrian trails, so consider a horseback riding tour as well. To continue planning your trip to Shenandoah National Park, watch this video next. And if you're still here, share this video with a friend and leave a comment to let us know what you're looking forward to in Shenandoah National Park.